Let's see what this is. Fat Talk thinks the word obese is a slur.
Oh, hey, Susan. What appears to be the problem? Hey there, doctor, mate. You alright? Yeah, I'm fine. How are you, Susan? Doctor, I'm gonna be honest, mate. Not too great. I feel a lot of chest pain, right? And my knees hurt when I walk. Okay, well, Susan, the problem with... But that's not all, doctor. I run out of breath really...
I'm gonna start this off with... No one has a problem with anybody being fat. No one cares if you're fat. Like, I think people only have issues with the fact that, like, if I say, hey, you're fat, and then you start getting mad at me because I called you fat. And it's like, it's just a fact. You know what I mean? I think that's where people have the issues of, like, I don't care that you're fat, but you're fat. And they're like, you can't say that. And it's like, what are you talking about? Like, people are getting mad at, like, truth nowadays. And, like, you know, it's that whole thing of, like, what is it? Facts, not feelings or whatever. I don't know.
Easily. And
other people jump in and start getting offended on other people's behalf. Well, that's the other thing, too, is you get people that, what was it? The term where it's like, you have to say something just to protect your image, because if you said the thing that people don't want you to say, they'll attack you for it. So it's like, people, what is it? I'm gonna think of it eventually. God damn it. You guys know what I'm saying. You know what I mean? As a fat guy, I take offense to your logic. Of course you do.
I just feel tired all the time. Yeah, Susan, I think I might know what the problem you're having is. And every doctor I've gone to about this problem has just been really fat-phobic. Always making comments about my weight and my diet, and it's just really insulting. Susan, I think they might be... No, yeah, I might be a bit plus size, but it's got nothing to do with my health. I don't know why they keep bringing it up. One doctor even called me the slur obese. Excuse my language. Wait, the slur obese? What do you mean slur? God, they're all so bigoted and closed-minded. Doctor, I just want a solution to my problem. Can you help me out, please, mate? Yo, you're joking, right?
What up, Ageless? How are you, dude?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs, Starlight, and Huey. Welcome back to the channel. Or if this...
Wait, when did Sonic look like this? I don't think okay. I've probably touched maybe one Sonic game in my whole life. I know. Kind of, maybe I suck for that. But I never knew Sonic even looked like this. What is this?
Just so happens to be your first time here, then...
It's one of the newer ones?
I'm not even gonna say
Has to be, obviously.
You know. And before people go in the comments and say, oh, you sound so different. Why do you sound so different? It's because I got braces, I got grills, okay? That's why I low-key have a little bit of a lisp, all right? Some words are still kind of hard to pronounce, but to be fair, most of it is faded by now, but it's still there just by a tiny little bit. And if you say you can't hear a difference, then I'm gonna give you flowers, okay? I'm gonna give you roses and dandelions. I was supposed to take a 2-week break off YouTube so my speech could recover, but I had to make this video. This is just retarded. Now, before I go on and on and on, let me just preface this by saying I don't have a problem when people complain on the internet. Honestly, I don't. I'm doing it right now. If someone wants to sit down and complain about something, then honestly, I think that's perfectly fine. Sometimes
you know that box, or like, you know that method where they say, hey, like, write a letter, like, write your feelings down on a letter and then throw it away. People write their feelings down in videos and then they just post them to the public now. It's basically like people took that advice of writing all their feelings down and then went and posted it at like the center of their city with like their phone number attached so people could like make comments back to them and call them and tell them how much their feelings are stupid. That's basically what YouTube is now. It's like a big complaining platform. And then people get mad when people interact with their complaints.
It's funny, constructive, and actually entertaining. It only becomes a problem when you're crying and whining about something which you yourself can control. It's one thing if I complain about Cocoa Pops tasting like shit because they took the sugar out. I don't know why they did that. But it's different if I'm the CEO of Cocoa Pops complaining about the same thing. Like, do you not see how stupid that would be? You fucking made it, you
That makes
twat.
sense.
And similar to that, if you complain about getting made fun of on the internet while you simultaneously act like a retard on the internet, you're a fucking idiot. I don't feel like I'm breaking new grounds here. This shit should be obvious. In conclusion,
That's okay. I think that's the issue, right? Is people act in a way that they know isn't the norm and then get upset when people treat them as if they're abnormal. And it's like, you don't do normal things. Like, what you do, people don't see every day. And so they're going to tell you, like, that's kind of weird. You know what I mean? And that's just how I look at it. You know, like if I posted, I don't know, what's something weird that I could do? There's that video of the dude, I don't know if y'all have seen this, but he was saying his whole life he's wiped his butt by catching the poo in the toilet paper and then putting it in the toilet. And then, yeah, so that's weird. And that's not normal, and that's not how people do it. So I can guarantee you he got made fun of a little bit. You know? I don't think anyone's like attacking him as a person. The poop knife story, well, the poop knife story is pretty cool. But like no one's attacking you as a person. They're saying, hey, that behavior is a little odd. Maybe more than a little odd, and that's not how normal people do it. You know? And then they get upset at that.
don't complain about things which you can solve through your own actions, okay? I thought this would be common sense by now, but clearly the internet has reduced all of our IQs by at least 200. And
Tomers, what videos?
I don't feel like it's gonna get any better anytime soon. But easily one of the dumbest communities on the internet is the fucking body positivity, fat liberation, body diversity, plus size. Literally every single other word under the sun other than what they actually are. Obese. You are
I think you can be all of it. Like you can be fat and beautiful, like sure. You can be obese, you can be plus size. I think you can be all of it. I don't think you just get to pick and choose which ones of those you are though. You know what I mean? I think with one comes all the other. Just because you're obese doesn't mean you're not beautiful and you're not a good person. Like someone's going to find you beautiful. Someone's going to think you're attractive. Not everyone. Not everyone finds really skinny people attractive. Some people like, what is it, the dad bod and stuff like that. I just don't think you can cherry pick which descriptive words you are. Like, if you're fat and you're plus size, you're probably also obese.
Obese, okay? You're not body liberated, you're not plus size. A fucking large Coke at KFC is plus size. You're just fucking obese, man. You can call it whatever you want. It is not gonna change that fact. We've been over this several times, and like I've said in those previous several times,
oh, am I the asshole videos?
Cares that you're obese. If you want to sit down and eat pizza and ice cream all day, go ahead, okay? We don't care. People only start making fun of you when you complain about being overweight. You can't cry and whine about thin privilege when you sit down and eat enough food to feed a family of 4. These people are so fucking tone deaf it hurts to watch. I've literally seen some accounts on TikTok where they'll go, oh my god, my jeans won't fit, they need to make bigger jeans, and then they'll simultaneously post what I eat in a day, and it's the worst food ever. Like, the solution to your problem is right there. It's on your account, you fucking wanker. But the worst thing these people do is that they'll genuinely convince themselves that there's nothing wrong with being obese. Do I even need to go over why that just doesn't make any sense? I've done it before, so I don't think I need to, but I will say that looking like this can, will, and is going to kill you, and is 100% gonna cause you health issues down the line. Like,
I don't think there's anything wrong with being obese. Like, if you choose that life, by all means, you're hurting yourself, you're shortening your lifespan, you're hurting everyone around you, but that's your choice. You know what I mean? There's nothing like legally wrong with it, but you know, it's selfish in a way. And I think if you don't see that, then you're just a little delusional.
Heart problems, kidney problems, joint problems, bone problems. Do I even need to go on? I mean, that short list is bad enough, but the full one is pretty fucking bad. Now, I'm not saying that people who aren't fat don't have these problems, but I am saying that if you are fat, you are much more likely
What's up, Renegades?
to have these problems. That's not me being fat phobic. That's me using what they taught me back in primary school. Children know this. Most people know this. Even you fat people know this. That's why they love the delusion of fat just being a body type. To which it's not. It comes with many different issues, but alright. They go as far as to call people fat phobes, which is a pretty rational fear if I'm being honest. No one in their right mind would want to look like this. Absolutely fucking no one. It's just in recent times there's been a really...
Don't say no one, because someone likes what they just saw. Okay? Don't get it twisted. Someone likes what they just saw. It's out there. It's out there.
weird push into glorifying this stuff. The silly, health at all size, my body.
All this talk has me looking at DoorDash.
No one actually believes has, for some reason, become a main statement in today's modern media, and it just keeps getting worse. Here we have the word obese trending on Twitter, or X, or whatever the fuck people call it nowadays. I don't care. Now, to everyone who actually enjoys their life and doesn't use Twitter, you're probably wondering, why was the word obese trending? Well, now the word obese, the medical term obese, is considered a slur. Yes.
I don't want to sound
Sorry,
rude,
I'm
but
broke.
if you're
I don't pay
still
for
trying to make
premium.
money
Okay,
online with
inflation.
things like
I don't pay
e-commerce,
for premium.
A slur. The word should now be censored and treated like the N-word. Honestly, I couldn't make this up even if I tried. Even though I have zero expectations of anyone on the internet, I'm still somehow disappointed.
I can always identify someone who doesn't have a great grasp on history if they see medicalization as a stamp of inherent virtue. This comes up a lot when I talk about how the word obese is a slur. At least one person will always pop their head out of the ground to say, obese is a medical term.
But it quite literally is. It says it right here. It's a medical condition that people can get diagnosed with.
As if that somehow makes it better.
No, that would just not make it a slur. It would make it a medical condition.
You know what else used to be a medical term? Like a lot of bad shit we don't say anymore. Because we realized it was stigmatizing as fuck and it actively harmed people.
You know what else actively harms people? Obesity. You fucking twat. And unlike words, obesity actually harms people on a biological level.
I'm gonna say it, dude. British people have a way of talking that's just way better than how we talk. I'm gonna say it. Okay.
And even if you call it something else like round or big-bodied or morbidly obtuse, it's not gonna change the fucking issue because it's not a derogatory.
Wait, the we fit thing when someone is overweight, it's brutal. No, I haven't. Stop eating. It's a big dish. I'm sorry. The thing is, like, dude, if you could see the amount of food that I eat, it's a lot. But I work out. I run. I'll be completely honest. I work out a lot so that I can eat whatever I want. I don't have to feel guilty when I go to McDonald's and I get my 2 McDoubles, 2 McChickens, a medium fry, and a vanilla milkshake. Okay? Do I do that every day? No. Every other month? Once a month? I don't know. It depends. But, like, you just gotta exercise. You know? You need to. It's important.
Term, it's a health problem. People are still gonna suffer from obesity whether you call it obesity or not. My god, I never thought I'd ever have to explain that.
Science and language are both constantly evolving and updating. The medical establishment is not exempt from this. If anything, it's actually a particularly strong example of how this happens. We don't need to look too far back into history at all to see how medical terminology and practices change.
Watch this. Wow. More like 1/8 of a burger inflation is bad.
Facts. Thanks, Scuba.
Yeah, well, that's due to a little known fact called technology. The reason why medical practices change is due to technological advances. Back in the day, they didn't have technology to pinpoint each medical issue. But now we do. And with that knowledge, we can tell that being morbidly obese is not good for you.
For example, homosexuality is no longer diagnosed as a mental illness. Female hysteria is not something that's diagnosed anymore.
Ah, yes. Two psychological thought processes which don't...
Wait, hold on. Let me back up. Let me back up to that. I missed
reason
it.
why medical practices change is that being morbidly obese is not good for you.
For example, homosexuality is no longer diagnosed as a mental illness. Female hysteria is not something that's diagnosed anymore.
Ah, yes.
So, like, I get what she's saying. Like, that was something that, like, we thought it was a mental problem, and now we realize that it's not. But you're still a homosexual. Like, you're still, like, that's your thing. Like, I guess the issue would be, like, the real argument would being like, oh, you can't say homosexual anymore, and it's like, that's what you are, you know? Like, it, I don't know, who gets to decide if it's offensive? Like,
psychological thought processes which don't inherently kill you. You know, guys, I think I'm starting to see the relation between that and having plaque literally cover your organs. Yeah, they're definitely the same thing.
Cocaine and heroin are no longer prescribed as anesthetics or cough suppressants. Lysol cleaning spray is no longer used as a douche. We don't perform ice pick lobotomies anymore. And doctors no longer advocate for the health benefits of smoking cigarettes. Oops.
You know, it's almost like there's a way for doctors to tell if there's something biologically harmful to you. I wonder if they can still do that. Oh well, I guess not. Is her argument here that science is just outdated and that there's nothing unhealthy about being overweight? Because if that's the case, then she'd be...
That's what, are you arguing the word or the science behind, like, what obesity is? Like, are you arguing that being overweight isn't unhealthy? If that's the problem, dude, we're way off. Like, that, I have, whatever. That there is nowhere, like, if you're obese, 99.99% of the problems, you are having massive health problems. Now, but it doesn't seem like she's arguing for, like, the word. Like, that, not there, at least. We'll see.
Wrong. The same way that we know smoking cigarettes is bad is the same way that we know overeating is bad. You'd expect a fully grown adult to know this.
More importantly, when a marginalized group tells you that a word or practice harms them, you can just go ahead and believe them.
Oh God, I love alcohol. I love me some alcohol. Listen, buddy, I'm glad to have you at the bar and all, but I think you've had too much. I think you might be an alcoholic. Hey, you can't say that word. That word is a slur. I don't appreciate that word. That word is very harmful. Listen, I'm sorry, man. I know the word alcoholic might be harsh, but this is your 13th drink. I think you might have had too many. No, I fucking haven't. You know what? I'm sick and tired of people using that derogatory term against me. I don't think you understand just how harmful that word is to me. So pour me another fucking pint or else I'm gonna put my boot up your bollocks. Dude, you're an alcoholic. It doesn't matter what word I use here, the problem is this guy drinks too fucking much. I don't understand how people can argue against this. My point here is you can call it whatever you want, it's not gonna change.
I think the only difference with that, like, relationship to what, or like argument, is that being an alcoholic, like, you can kill somebody on the way home driving. You could, I don't know. I feel like being an alcoholic or being out, like, having alcoholism, like, I get the argument, but I feel like one has significantly more harm to other people. Whereas if you're fat, you're just sitting in your house and you're eating. Like, people, you're not, like, putting other people at risk with your behaviors, I don't think. You know, like, you're only harming yourself. Being an alcoholic, like, people get violent. You know, like I said, driving, like, it's a little different to me.
The fact that obesity is an underlying medical condition. And if you view that as offensive, well, then that kind of contradicts your entire fat liberation argument. I thought it was okay to be morbidly obese. Why is it now all of a sudden a word that shouldn't be said?
Just a reminder that I am very fat and very sexy. And I am 100% glorifying obesity.
Back in 2022,
again,
I lost
I'm broke.
two
I'm
very
sorry.
important people in my
Okay.
life. Big figures. It really wasn't until
Oh my God. She just said the O word. Twitter, Cancel her. No, but seriously, what are the rules here? Is it bad? Is it good? Is it a word that no one should ever say? Because if so, then I have a few replacement suggestions. Fat Talk, feel free to contact me. But this all
Bloated
just feels like they're
Bowsers.
just ignoring their health. Like one big everyone close your ears and go la 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 la. I don't want to hear the obese word. To which, okay, fine, but that's not gonna change the fact that you
Salad
are
tondras.
obese. Oh, sorry, I meant you're plus sized. And so is a plaque in your arteries. Good luck with heart disease.
Obesity is a noun, and it doesn't describe how large something is.
Well, actually, the word obese is an adjective, and is a word used to describe a large human being. So, no, you're wrong.
We don't say that that house is obese.
The word obese is used to describe people, genius.
The term obesity comes with judgment. Not a judgment of the size of that person, but of how they became large.
What are you talking about? By definition, it literally is used to describe how large someone is. At this point, you're just throwing in random shit in to make it sound like you know what you're talking about. The word obese is a chronic disease that impairs health, okay? You can try and shift the definition all you want, saying all this fucking judgment bullshit, but it's not gonna change the fact that being obese is bad for you. It's not neutral, it's fucking bad for you.
Word comes from Latin, meaning to overeat, which puts the blame on the larger person.
Where else is the blame supposed to go? Me? Is it my fault that you can't go outside without a fucking scooter? Or is it your fault because you refuse to eat a salad once in a while?
I think it's weird that people should, like, you're judged everywhere. It's human nature to judge someone. You know what I mean? If someone has a weird haircut, you judge them. If someone's wearing weird clothes, you kind of judge them a little bit. If someone, I don't know, is just shitting their pants when they walk through Walmart, you judge them a little bit. Okay? Certain behaviors are going to make people judge you. I think it's human behavior. It'd be great if humans weren't judgmental, but we just are, I think, by default. Especially when we see something that's abnormal. You know what I mean?
Wild.
As if food carries moral value. It doesn't, and we should stop using this word.
Well, obviously it doesn't hold moral value, it's just food. The food itself isn't the problem here. The problem is when you eat 3,000 to 4,000 calories of it every day. You can change the word all you want, the problem is still gonna be there. You fucking idiot. I don't like that word, can we change it? Mate, the word's not the fucking problem. The problem is that your internal organs probably look like Indian street food. You're the size of 3 people, and most of you
Those
can't
videos
even
are
sit
crazy,
down
by the
in a
way.
chair. You want to change the word to round?
What up,
you want it to be
Lucky?
plus size? You want it to be fucking morbid? It doesn't make a difference because the health problems that obesity cause are still gonna be there. Oh god, these people are so brain dead.
Why is it offensive to call someone fat who is fat?
Hello, certified fat person here.
Ah,
I want to
God,
see that.
you
I want
know,
to see that. I
at
want to
this
see that.
point, I can just tell what kind of response I'm going to get just from looking at them. I don't even like using this word, but this is literally the Karen haircut.
Thanks,
okay,
Lucky.
Well, let's hear this one out.
And I'm more than happy to answer your question if you really do want an answer, which I'm not so sure you do.
Ah, just get on with it.
To start, I refer to myself as fat, and I don't care if other people refer to me as fat. And
Okay.
that's because I don't see the word fat as a bad word. Even if someone tries to insult me by saying you're fat, my response is yes and.
I mean, yeah, she's not wrong. It's not a bad word. It's just a pretty bad health condition. And also, if that's the case, then why the fuck does everyone get so upset about the word obese? Is it because obese sounds worse than fat? I mean, it does, but they both lead to the same conclusion. Heart disease.
I think that's the big thing is no matter what you call it, like even if we were like, okay, everyone's in agreement, we're not going to call obese people anymore, we're going to call them plus sized. Do you think the judgment that you don't want goes away? People are still going to judge you. People are going to still think that you have overeating problems and that you're unhealthy. Even if you delete the word and everyone's like, oh, okay, no one's obese anymore, they're all plus size, it doesn't eliminate the health problems. Like, I don't understand what the end goal is here.
It took a lot of work to get to this point, and that's because, like many other words in our language, the word fat has a dark history where it has been used to belittle, insult, and dehumanize.
But for the most part, to educate, because being fat is not a good thing. It's not a fucking body type like in a video game. No, it actually has consequences in real life. The way you talk about being fat is like it's like being short or having a big nose or having big lips or some shit like that. Those are inherent characteristics which you can't change. You are just literally killing yourself.
So for a lot of people, it's very difficult to shake this history when they hear the word fat.
Because it's an inherently bad thing. High blood pressure, high cholesterol, bone and joint issues, digestion issues. Do I even need to go on?
And if you want the word fat to be used in the same way as skinny, thin, fit, then you need to use it in a way that's not derogatory, which quite frankly, you did not do in your video. So if someone you deem fat prefers to refer to their body as curvy or plus size, they have every reason in the world to do so, and you need to respect it.
I think you can refer to yourself as whatever you want, but you don't have to tell other people what they need to refer to you as. Like, to an extent. She even, like, fat's not a bad word. Being obese isn't a bad word. It's never been treated as, like, a bad word, it seems like, until now. Like, obese people were just obese, and, like, that's just what it was.
Thanks.
What difference does it make? Listen, mate, if you'd rather be called plus size, then yeah, whatever, sure, fine. The problems you get from obesity,
that's why I said,
are still gonna be there.
Yeah.
How many times do I need to say the same thing before it drills into your abnormally large head? Whether you call it obese or not, it's still gonna be not good. But I guess this rational use of logic can't be expected from Fat Talk. I mean, they all collectively thought it was a good idea to call themselves Fat Talk.
Yeah, get a salad, Austin.
But another app that rational thought process can't be given to is Twitter. Obviously. I feel like anyone familiar with Twitter could have probably guessed that at this point. No one uses their brains on there. People even found a way to find political discourse in a McDonald's advert. The people of Twitter even got mad at PewDiePie for being a happy, loving father. This app is actually hell. Like, actually fucking hell.
I think if you actively participate on Twitter, there's something a little bit wrong with you. I feel like that's pretty safe to say. If you were actively just engaging in Twitter posts and commenting and, like, doing all these crazy things, there's something wrong with you. A little bit.
Refuse to believe that anyone who uses this app is happy in real life. But of course, if they can make big issues out of literally nothing, I don't see how any of these are controversial by any means. But you wouldn't believe the fucking uproar when it comes to the word obese. Now, I look at dumb people all day. I look at silly people all day. And even I've got to put my hands up and say, these are some of the dumbest fucking retards on earth. Fat Talk is one thing, but Twitter is another fucking planet, man.
As I'm in the midst of applying for residency right now, wish me luck, Grammarly has again been a lifesaver with my application.
Babe, obesity is a medical slur.
Yeah,
Love
Twitter's
your
is
body.
stupid.
If you want to exercise and eat healthier, that's great. But don't be scammed and bullied into making yourself smaller. There is nothing wrong with being fat. Well, I fucking beg to differ. This shit kills people, you know. But I guess my main question here is, how is weight loss a scam? I mean, yeah, sure, there are some shady weight loss practices, but for the most part, the weight loss journey itself is always a good thing. It's good for your heart, joints, mobility, overall health. You get to live longer. You actually get to sit down in chairs and you don't have to worry about a weight capacity, and you can actually walk without having to waddle around like a fucking penguin. This isn't bullying, this is just facts. Oh wait, sorry about that. I forgot I wasn't supposed to use rational thinking when talking to someone who uses Twitter. My apologies. When you see the fat-phobic slur obesity, replace the word in your mind with fat people or fat children, and then see how the headline or proposal reads. Oh god. Anything you propose to do about the fat-phobic slur obesity is something you're proposing to do to fat people. And the reason why the word is a slur is because it makes you forget that fat people are people. Okay, no, mate. No. Whenever
That's
someone
such
makes
a
a
stretch.
statement that they want to get rid of obesity, they're talking about the illness obesity. They want to get rid of what these people have and not the people, because they will live a lot shorter lives if they don't get rid of it. Obesity isn't a group of people, it's a health condition. Whenever someone says I want to get rid of cancer, they're not saying they want to kill everyone with cancer. They're saying they want to get rid of the illness, you idiot. Don't even try and defend the fatphobic slur obesity by saying it's a medical term. It's a medical slur. Is that even a thing? Is a medical slur even real? It's either you have the condition or you don't. I don't see how that can be derogatory.
Like, some people's entire identity online is about being fat. Like, they've literally made their persona about being very large and eating a lot of food. And some people love them for it. I don't think there's anything like socially wrong with like being like, if you want to be fat, like be fat. I don't know. Like, I just keep going back to the same argument. Like, I don't think anyone has a problem with like people being fat. People have the issue with like, hey, you know you're fat. I'm not fat. There's nothing wrong with this. And it's like, well, you're aware of like that the health concerns that come with. No, there's none. That's where people have the problem. It's like, dude, fucking be fat. I don't give a shit. But don't tell me there's nothing wrong with you. Internally, your body is screaming.
It's the word doctors use to deny fat people medical care. Yeah, we know it's used in medicine, causing they're using it to kill us. What? You know what? Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Whenever a doctor gives a fat person health advice, they are just denying them healthcare. Yep, you're right. I hate the term so much. It's so dehumanizing. I felt like a fucking specimen when I read the note my doctor wrote for me in order to get reasonable accommodation.
This brings up a point. I think the word bitch is a much more derogatory term than obese. Why aren't we fighting to get rid of the word bitch? Can we stop calling people bitches?
At work. You know, just getting a little bit silly here. You can do things in your life. I don't know what they are. I don't know what they could possibly be. There are some things out there which can help you lose weight, okay? I don't know what they could possibly be, but they are out there. So if you don't like being obese, then you could maybe give it a try. Just an idea. The term obese is a slur. Violent, dehumanizing. It's anti-black. Well, as a colored crayon myself, I don't see how. How can a biological health condition be racist? I am losing faith in our species. Hey skinnies, the word obesity is a fat-phobic slur. Stop interacting with posts that use it as a way to combat fatness. I fucking hate y'all for that shit. If you're not fat, stay out of fat people's business. And if you disagree, literally block me.
Same with ho.
Fucking die. See you later, bro. Calm down.
I was gonna say the same thing, actually. Wouldn't skinnies be a slur? Like, I guess that's the problem, is no one's... why aren't the fat people defending anorexic people as well? Of like, no, you're normal. And I think it's because a lot of people obviously can look at someone who's anorexic and like way too skinny as like they're hurting themselves, and that's a problem. You know, anorexia and obesity kind of go hand in hand with like, you have eating disorders. Like, you have eating problems. They're just the opposite, but they're both leading to just like detrimental health issues. But it seems like no one ever talks about them synonymously. You know? Like, I feel the same way about anorexic people as I do about obese people. Like, look, if you're choosing anorexia, like, again, there's nothing like legally wrong with you being anorexic, but you are like hurting yourself and living in the delusion that you're not causing problems. And, you know, if someone's saying like, hey, I think you should eat more, it's not coming from a place of like, I'm judging you or hating you for the way that you are. It's, I care about you and I want to see you get healthy, because the state you're in right now isn't healthy. It's the same way with obese people or fat people, of like, hey, I want you to stop eating less. I think you should stop eating less, or stop eating so much. I think you should eat less. It's like, I care about you and I care about your health and I want you to be around for a long time and I want to be able to go do things with you. But I don't know. People just don't look at it that way. Either of them.
Oh, it's a joke. Kind of. The term obese is a slur.
Not many people look at someone skinny and think of health issues. I mean, like there's skinny healthy. There's I'll be honest. I think there's fat healthy. I think there's plenty of people who are large and probably go in and get tests done by the doctor. And the doctor's like, you're good. Like your heart's good. You know, your cholesterol's good. Like you're fine. You're just big. I think that totally exists. I think there's skinny people that are able to do that. But then you start getting to the end of the spectrum where it's like now we're reaching like medical problems and health issues. But I think you can be skinny healthy. I think you can be a fat healthy. I do. But then there's the extremes of like, okay, you can't just be fucking 3% body fat and healthy, you know? Like even let's look at like physique competitors. Physique competitor body fat. Female physique competitors typically have a body fat percentage of 8 to 10%. Let's body builder fat percentage. Let's look this up. 15 to 25 during prep, but can drop to 8 to 18 when they are close to competition. This can drop to 5.8 to 10 when they're close to competition. So someone who's like on the competitive scale of being as skinny and as muscular as possible, as lean as possible, you know, I wouldn't even say their bodies are in a healthy state. They're dehydrated. You know, they're starving. If you ask somebody on stage that's competing in a competition like that to go run, they'd probably pass out. They don't have anything in their bodies. They just don't. So like you can even say that like someone like that isn't healthy, you know? Physically, you look at like peak human condition, I guess, but you're not healthy.
Because it is used to dehumanize and harass us. It's not because our feelings are hurt by an accurate
I'm pretty sure, Noodle.
Well, it is. Because I don't see how it could be anything else. It is an outdated term that does more harm than good. And as such, it should be eradicated. That's it. I've said it many times before and I'll say it again. Just because you get rid of the word doesn't mean you get rid of what it actually is. The causes and effects of obesity are still gonna be a thing whether you call it obesity or not. How hard is this to understand? It's almost like education is illegal wherever you people are from.
That's what I was saying earlier.
Mercedes claims that obesity is a slur used to exact violence on fat people, particularly black, disabled, trans, poor fat people. Oh god, I'm starting to genuinely feel my brain melt at some of this bullshit. What are you talking about? Honestly, what are you talking about? A medical term used to diagnose people is now claimed to be violent. This can't be real life. They want to be victims so badly. It's so fucking cringe. You'll never see anyone defend anorexia or chain smoking like this. So why do they do it for obesity? God, this is so fucking
My point
weird.
exactly.
Now, I'm not going to claim to be a medical professional by any means because I'm really not. I only studied anatomy, physiology, and nutrition for around a year in college, right? But even with the little amounts of information I have on the subject, I still have more than enough knowledge to claim that being morbidly obese is not a good thing. It's not like a neutral body type like in a video game which has no impact on your gameplay. No, it's not like that. It's a serious medical condition and is terrible for your health. You don't even need to study anything to understand that. I feel like most people can tell what a healthy body looks like compared to an unhealthy one. As long as you have more than 2 lines on your brain, then you should be able to know this. And yet, we have these people. But not only has this ideology seeped itself onto TikTok and Twitter, but it's also seeped itself into actual medical professionals. Honestly, I wish I was joking.
If you are obese, please don't ever let a doctor or a healthcare provider tell you that you need to lose weight before they investigate further a symptom that you're having.
You have to be just
What?
a guy in a costume, okay? There
What?
is no way you have a medical license. Oh my days, how dare him.
You know, I think that like that video right there has some similarities with I think what's wrong with schools nowadays is people let their political bias and like their personal biases get in the way of like telling people the right thing. Same thing with schools. Like one of my buddy's moms is a teacher and she'll put like her political viewpoints and all of her personal stuff into the classrooms and it's like it's not the place. first off. Like, that's just not what you're here to do. And I think people let, like, their personal stuff get in the way of, like, what we're actually here to do. Like, you came to the doctor for health problems. Well, just looking at you, I can tell that you probably eat too much. So maybe we should start there and see if things get better. Versus, like, oh, just hop on, like, all these pills. You're fucking depressed. You have anxiety, and that's why you're fat. And, you know, hop on these pills, and then you'll, I don't know, feel better. I don't know. It's just weird.
Medical healthcare provider provide medical healthcare. That's just ridiculous. If you are clinically diagnosed with obesity, then you should lose the weight. If a medical professional tells you to do so, then you should probably do so. A reliable medical professional who actually uses biology, not this bell end.
If they want to delay getting a lab or getting imaging or having you see a specialist, if they want to delay that because they say you need to lose weight first, you need to push back on that person, or you need to find someone else.
Why? If you're obese and you're suffering from symptoms and you decide to lose the weight, there is a high possibility that those symptoms can lessen down, making treatment a lot easier for everyone involved. Any doctor in their right state of mind would understand this.
Because your health problems are not just blamed on your obesity or the amount of fat tissue that you have.
Yeah, you graduated on Roblox, bro. There is no fucking way you have a master's degree. This may be news to you, doctor, but being fat itself is a health issue and will be the cause of 99% of the problems these people have. You'd like to believe a doctor would know this.
You are allowed to have other health problems as well, and you deserve the respect and dignity of investigating those other symptoms as well.
Yeah, but what about the main symptom that is visible?
Employers see
Well, I
tons
think
of
what's
resumes
like,
every day and
hold
don't have
on.
time to carefully review them all, which means that...
Are you serious?
I think, like, the big issue is being obese or overweight or fat, whatever you want to call it, can generate so many other health problems. And, like, not just physically, but anxiety and depression and everything else like that. Like, I've had so many friends of mine, exes, whatever, who have gone through, like, significant health problems or health changes, and it's literally because they went on this massive weight gain thing, and then they lost weight, and all those other symptoms vanished, you know? And so it's like, before we hop you on pills and prescriptions and stuff like that, let's get you some exercise and a diet plan, okay? And then after a little bit of that, okay, if you don't start seeing some positive side effects from making these changes, we'll look into other things. But right now, I can tell you that your body is probably just dying on the inside, okay? And it's screaming for help. But what's funny is people are way faster to hop on a prescription than they are a treadmill nowadays. You know, everyone wants the magic pill, and nobody wants to run for 20 minutes. You know, it's just, that's how it is. And I think that's a sad part of today's world. Is it's so much easier just to get a pill prescribed and tell you that you have, like, this pill is gonna fix your problem, and then it's like, but just keep living your life how you are. Trust me, you'll be okay. And I think rather than prescribing a pill bottle, they should be like, hey, we have this warehouse of treadmills. We're going to give you one of these, and you're going to take it home, and you're going to walk on this for 20, 30 minutes a day. Okay, and you're going to stop going to McDonald's every day. Try that.
If this person walks into your office and says, "Oh, doc, my joints hurt," are you going to say, "Oh, let me go investigate that further"? No. Idiot. The problem is pretty obvious. It doesn't need much investigation. You'd like to believe a medical professional would understand this, but clearly not. Jeez, man. Us evolving backwards really was an understatement. We've got people genuinely walking around thinking that there's absolutely nothing wrong with being morbidly obese. And there's even people thinking we shouldn't even say the word obese, whilst also simultaneously thinking that there's nothing wrong with being obese. But if that's the case, then why shouldn't we be able to say it? I mean, is it a slur? Is it liberating? Is it fat phobic? I don't even fucking know anymore. Every time I try and understand this stuff, I just get a headache. But there you have it. modern society. Calling people who are objectively unhealthy is now derogatory. And the word obesity should now be censored, but at the same time should be liberated and celebrated, and just, I give up.
Oh, I'd take a free treadmill instantly, Noodle.
This plus size agenda, it just makes less and less sense. But anyways, guys, this is in fact the end of the video, and if you liked, please leave a like, and if you didn't, then feel free to degrade me in the comments. I hope my braces and newfound speech didn't affect the video too much, but if it did, then sorry about that. I'm still in my adapting phase, so I'm not fully normal just yet. But like I said earlier, I had to make this video. There was no way I was ignoring this. But yeah, hopefully next video I don't sound like fucking Timmy Turner. But with all that said, all my links and socials are in the description. Feel free to follow me on anything. I hope all of you guys did enjoy the video. But until next time, make sure to drink your water and get enough sleep at night. Okay,
Sleep's
goodbye.
important. Sleep's important.
You know why being overweight is one of the smartest things you could do? Just imagine a zombie apocalypse and there's no food left. Overweight people keep all the food in their belly. Therefore, they would live longer than people who aren't overweight.
Never mind. We're gonna filter that comment out, okay? That's my filter working. You just wouldn't make it very far. You just wouldn't make it. The only, okay, again, we're not going to insult, all right? I'm going to filter some things.
Yeah. Good luck outrunning any living creature. There's no way you actually think that being overweight in a zombie apocalypse is a good idea. And, side note, zombies aren't real, okay? You just threw your health in the garbage for a fictional story. It doesn't get any dumber than that.
That was a good video. I say I agree with most of it. I feel like we're on the same wavelength with that.